Let's welcome Dr. Shobhna Das. Welcome to the COMI Talk Show.
Thank
Dr.
you so
Shobhna.
much, Shruti and Gansh, for coming for the show.
So, Dr. Shobhna, how did what inspired you to join Army and that as a doctor? So, we start from there.
Okay, I will go back. I come from a family where my father had been a doctor, and later, of course, my younger brother also happened to be a doctor after I did my MBBS. So, but then we had more doctors in the family. One of my Nani G's was a doctor also, and I happened to be. I joined the same college that she did because she was also a professor of pediatrics in that college, and Nani,
Yes, right.
So, so that came from my mother's side family, because when I cleared the Delhi University seat, I was getting placement in Malala Azad as well as Lady Harding.
What were the Army parts? So, how did you get inspired?
So, I joined and I finished my MBBS. I was in the final year, and that was the first time the Army has started taking students from MBBS to join the Army, and I was one of the first batches of this cadet scheme. And I was motivated because, as I said, my father was in the service, and he was one of the motivating factors for me to join the Army. Though all my friends told me at that time, "What are you doing?
You comes around 20-25 years back.
Yes, about
so it was like going to an army. I know so it was a big thing for a woman that time.
Yes.
There was a lot of challenges you must have faced.
Absolutely. But then once you make up your mind, all the challenges just melt away.
So your family supported it?
Yes, they did. My family is my father supported, my mother also supported, and it was my motivation also, I would say. And after joining the Army, lots of doors opened up. It was not really the doctor part in you, there were a lot of other things which I've been always interested in adventure activities, and I got an opportunity to be a paratrooper doctor as well, so I did my paratrooping. And after that, there was an opportunity to go for an Everest expedition in a women's team as a doctor as well as a member.
Okay. So you were if I'm wrong, that you are the first lady doctor, army doctor that went to the Mount Everest?
Yes, with that team, yes, I was.
With that team, yes.
Yeah, and it was the first time that the Indian Army was attempting the mountain from the north side, which is the more difficult side, which is from the China side. And it took a long time. It took about 3 years of training and 3 expeditions and winter training in the Siachen Glacier, and that's how. And the team started as a 60-member team, which got cut short, and in the end there were only 10 lady members and 20 hardcore mountaineers in that team. And then we saw the success which came in the year 2005, month of March, end of March. In fact, it was June when we submitted, 2nd June. 9 members from our team submitted. So it was one of the biggest success of that year, where on that particular side there were multiple accidents on the Everest, including the Russian team lost its member, one of our Air Force team lost its members, when one of our members had become severely injured on the mountains. And it was really a great challenge.
But it must be a celebration when you must have come back and families must be relieved.
Yes. When we went onto the mountain, we all went very enthusiastically. But when we started facing the difficulties every day, we were wondering, our drawing room was much better place. Why the hell did we come here, pitching a tent in the middle of nowhere and trying to make it a home? But in the end of it all, the success and the failures and the difficulties that we faced, I think we emerged as better human beings. And I think I'll always relish this part of my experience.
But was there mobile?
There were no mobiles. We used to speak through satellite phones, and that is how we used to communicate once a week. And not everybody could communicate every time. But then I would say that was one huge privilege where you
parents must be like every time thinking that the daughter is okay.
Absolutely. And that we could only speak when we were low down in the mountain, whether it was the advanced base camp or in the base camp. When we were in the higher camps, we just would not be able to sleep. But we did not stay in the higher camps for a very long period. It used to be for a day or two maximum. But then as a doctor, I was on the mountains for the longest because we had two teams and both the teams were trying to then. One would go up and come down, the second one then would go, but the doctor had to remain there.
How many days
I was
was
only
this?
doctor.
Okay, you're the only doctor. That's amazing.
For a 30-member team.
30-member team. Okay, and how many days you were there? You know, how it took
We
time?
went in the month of March and we came back in June.
March, April, May, June, 4 months.
End of Feb, actually, we left India. We went to Nepal. From Nepal, we went to China. From China, we went to Lakh, and from there, we were on foot.
So lifelong experience it is.
So
that's what COMI is all about.
Yeah.
It gives you those opportunities which you can never even dream about. Otherwise, I had never dreamt in my younger years or during my schooling that I would do these things ever. So,
but it's a golden opportunity that you got, I think. This is like a very important that one should grab it because once in a lifetime.
These opportunities just go and
Once in a lifetime, I should say.
once a lifetime, and you have to, as you said, grab it. Because had I not opted, probably it would have just passed by.
Yes.
I won't ever have gone.
That fear is always there still, because it may be from your parents' side, from your end.
My mom was totally against, because she said if I fractured my foot or, I broke a limb, and she would say, "Ladki, usko kya hoga?"
So that's really nice to listen to you.
You always wanted to often go to.
I was very open to adventure activities. I had a sporting background in school.
Okay.
I was into athletics and I had played in state level and all. But after that, the studies became more important. From 10th onwards, I was focused on academics and everything else took a back seat. And once I finished my MBBS and now that I've joined the army, then those things had come back to me, that I have to.
So how difficult it was to manage as a doctor? There was a lot of things, responsibilities on your shoulder at that time. So whether it was difficult for you or it was easy because weather, climate,
No, I would rather say things had been eased out for me because it was not my planning or my project. It was the project of the army, and they had it was selection. It was selection-based thing, and there were a huge team which started off with 65 members, and that So I had during training for Everest, I had done expeditions to Mount Abigaman, Mount Kedar Dome, Siachen Glacier in winters. So these were the things which we had done prior to going for Everest.
Okay,
And those people who were not able to go through these hard, difficult times in these places, they were not selected for the Everest.
Oh my God! So they were whole training before you went to the Mount Everest.
Yes, it is not that simple.
Army planning, so it has to be very.
But I'm thinking that time, 20 years back, we're talking about where there was no mobiles, technology was not that updated, and going in there, the woman was also not, allowed to do many things. These kind of challenges, adventures came.
Absolutely. The team was our team leader was a male member. He has done. He was at that time in Chicago. Now, this gentleman has done the Everest for 5 times. He summited the Everest 5 times. And this individual himself was part of our training team and a big, huge motivation for the entire time.
And
So I'm really grateful to
feeling
him.
motivated by communicating to you and meeting someone who has.
And I would advise everyone to have an opportunity, don't think about the difficulties, go ahead and do it because that's what life is all about.
Your dad only got me here to you that listening to that you were the first woman lady doctor from army who went to the Mount Everest. I was like, wow, that time and
But now more people have.
yeah, obviously, but the time has changed. It's more easy. A lot of technology updates are there, mobiles are there, so that connectivity is more there. At that time, the connectivity
And I must mention about it, during our expedition from the northern side, as I said, some of the teams had faced difficulties. So we were total about 7 doctors. There were 2 from the British team, 1 from the Russian team, 2 from the American team, 1 Air Force and 1 Navy.
Okay.
So we kind of collaborated and had a system of communication, because there had been incidences happening in Australia also where major accidents happened, and because of non-communication, lots of members lost their lives sometimes. So we had some mechanism of, they had satellite phones and all, so we had kind of planned it out. If something happens, how do we communicate? Different, somebody's on a higher height and we are below height. And I had somehow, knowing all this, I had planned I had a huge backup, because I was coming from the army, and then our team was the largest during that time. There was no other team who had 30 members. And I had stacked up each of my camps, starting from the topmost camp till the base camp, with medicines in each camp. So nobody had to come down to take the medicines. And many other times where I could not reach, I had trained my members in such a way that they could give their own injections. And I would just talk to them on the radio set and ask them about the symptoms and advise them this is what all the medicines were labeled, how much to be taken, how to use it. So many of my members who had problems, it got sorted out that way. That means though I was single-handed,
Everybody was helping.
but somehow we were able to manage. So did not have major casualties, except one casualty who was lost for about more than 24 hours in heights above 25,000 feet. But we managed to bring her down also. And it's totally a big yes, but always run back of your mind, there are certain challenges that you will have to face, but you'll have to get over them, and the life just opens up to you with every kind of opportunities you get besides your professional satisfaction. And then you get, if you're adventurous, you get those opportunities, you get to see so many other different places which you would otherwise not have traveled. And then of course different means you're made jack of all kind of things, because you have administrative responsibilities, you have a kind of responsibilities which are given to you. And even if you want to specialize and do better as a medical doctor, even those opportunities are there. We have very good specialty hospitals in the army. So I would say overall it's a complete life, it's a lifestyle in the army which is a unique experience by itself, which is very different from given in the army.
Okay. So that's great. So I'd just like to, end up by just asking you what do you specialize? I think you're a doctor in medicines. So can you just brief us about what you take care of, so that people who want to come to you and what you are specializing in? Okay.
And we will just insist you just to also add few health tips for our viewers.
Okay. See, at the moment, I have finished with my army career. I have left the army, and now I have joined a hospital, which is in Lakh, and I'm working as a consultant in internal medicine. And here, what I see and what I find is majority of the patients who are coming to us are either having chronic lung disease, having hypertension, having diabetes, having problems of thyroid, and so what I find is, especially among the young, what I find is they tend to pick up infections very fast. Possibly it is the effect of the pollution that they are exposed to here, with lung infections and lung asthma and allergic lung disease, or allergic rhinitis is a thing happens because of pollution around you. So this is one thing which is happening in the cities, and particularly in Delhi NCR. So we're getting lots of these cases. I would say about 50% of our beds are occupied by people who have lung, especially chronic COPD.
Because the air in the environment?
Yeah, air is one of the factors, and of course smoking, tobacco is another one where it's a normal practice in many of the households where they do smoke BD or and these things also do contribute. So coming to the healthy lifestyle, I would say please ensure that you maintain a good body weight, ensure that you take a balanced, healthy diet, and then ensure that you exercise regularly, even if your body weight is normal. Because these three things, because we as an Indian population, we are prone to certain lifestyle diseases which are more common among us. I would say like hypertension, diabetes, hypercholesterolemias, then COPD now it has started increasing. So and majority of these conditions lead to their secondary complications of heart disease, kidney disease, kidney failures and all. So if you can primarily change your lifestyle, your diet, your exercise, you can avoid all these risk factors which ultimately will bring on these diseases to you. So, and it is better to act now. Whatever the age you may be in, if you're slightly more than 45 years, then if you're starting some activity, take clearance from your physician before you started. But the younger age group, even if they have a family history or they have certain risk factors like obesity or hypercholesterol, they can adopt these healthy lifestyle and ensure that these risk factors which are there, they go away.
It was great talking to you. If any of our viewers wish to had your services, so how can they connect you and how they can
At the moment, I am working here in our hospital. I also have colleagues in my department. So they are welcome to come. The timings are from 9 to 6, and we also have an evening OPD every day from 5:30 to 8:30. We have an evening OPD from 5:30 to 8:30, and we have also inpatient care and super specialty. This is a referral super specialty hospital in Gurgaon, and it is a very popular hospital.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you so much for your time and listening to your journey, especially for the Mount Everest one. It gives me goosebumps because imagining, because we all aspire for such adventures, but I think you were lucky that you got this opportunity and you went for it. And as Dr. Shobhna said, that these kind of whenever opportunities there, please grab it. Just give it the chance because it's once in a lifetime, I would say. So let's catch up for the next COMI talk show soon. Bye. Take care.